एवं निर्माण क्रिया योगा सर्वे संस्कृति हेतवा ता एवात्मा विनाशाय कल्पन्ते कल्पिता परे.
Very nice, Mataji. Your daughter or son you had, who you showed in Vrindavan, who recited so nicely. Was that your son?
Daughter.
Daughter. What's her name?
Janvi.
Janvi. Yes. She recited so beautifully. Should let her also recite sometimes.
Yes, sure, Prabhuji.
Sorry?
Yes, Prabhuji, surely. But
Good.
she's
Please.
yet very small. Yeah, she's just 2.5 years old.
2.5 is for daughters, they are like, they can do. Anyway, the survey samsriti hetavaha. When we have this visarga, we have to pronounce them completely. Survey samsriti hetavaha. Evam nrina kriya yogaha. Survey samsriti hetavaha. Now, can you read the word for word also, Mataji?
Yes. Evam, thus, Nirnam of the human being, Kriya Yoga, all activities, Survey, everything, Sanskriti, material existence, Hetava, causes, Te, that, Eva, certainly, Atma, the tree of work, Vinashaya, killing, Kalpante, become competent, Kalpita, dedicated, Pare, onto the transcendence.
See, before we go to the translation, these words are very interesting. Prabhupada is saying Atma is the tree of work. Why?
I was about to question you this only, that why Atma is the tree of work.
Yeah. So how do you understand this?
Prabhuji, it represents conditioned nature of the soul.
Correct, but why it is in tree of work?
Because of fruitative actions. Fruitative actions means comes from tree, so maybe because of that Prabhupada used tree.
Correct, but where is the link between Atma and tree?
Prabhuji, in a tree, the soul inside a tree is so much conditioned and very deep inside, deep rooted. Is that the reason?
Yes, it is deep rooted. It is definitely deep rooted. That is a good point. But I'm still wondering why this word. Deep rooted is one thing, but Atma means the source of everything, right? Or the how should I say it? Origin, yeah.
Prabhuji, the soul without its proper knowledge, it keeps on getting transferred from, because of the binding nature, it keeps on getting transferred like branches of tree without a proper reason. So is that
the karma basically here the context is that we are talking about the chain of karmic reactions, actions and reactions. Correct. So that karma is, it's like you can consider it in different analogy. Here the analogy of tree is being used because tree starts off. A tree starts off. Thank you, Piyush Prabhu. Just come to that. And then small plant creeper like this, it grows. But then each branch has sub branches has leaves and then fruits, flowers. Everywhere it is just spreading so much that in fact you will see that there is an equal reference to the same thing of a tree in another place in Bhagavad Gita. Who knows that? And Prabhupada is going to refer to that in the purport anyway.
Udva Mula Madaha Shakam.
Correct. Can you bring up 15th chapter, first verse? Just keep it in another window. Come back here.
This is Bhagavad Gita or
Bhagavad Gita 15.1, Prabhu.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
So if you read the translations, Urdham Moolam Adhashtakam, Ashwatam Prabhu, you can switch off the word for word and word for word and Devanagari. If you have it in advanced mode, Prabhu. Switch off, if you are in advanced mode, switch off Devanagari and synonyms. No, you are already in there. Just switch off Devanagari. Yes, that's it. Now you get a little bit. Zoom it, Prabhu, please. Yeah, thank you. If you see the translation, can somebody read this translation?
Yes.
And
The
read
Supreme.
Prabhuji, like, okay, sorry.
One of you
Yeah,
please
please.
read.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas."
Very nice. So in this paragraph, in this purport, please read the second paragraph.
Can you just
Yeah, come down, Prabhu. Rakesh Prabhu. Yeah, second paragraph. The entanglement.
Yeah, the entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree. He wanders from one branch to another, to another, to another. The tree of this material world has no end, and for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. The Vedic hymns meant for elevating oneself are called the leaves of this tree. This tree roots grow upward because they begin from where Brahma is located, the topmost planet of this universe. If one can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, then one can get out of it.
So this is initially giving an idea about this tree, the karma, which is why Prabhupada is referring to this as tree of work, because he is referring back to 15th chapter where this tree of work or tree of attachment and karma is explained so beautifully in these few verses, and then how to get rid of it also is explained in this 3-4 verses. So there is a parallel going on between 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and this verse, this particular verse. You see, that's why Prabhupada is giving this word Atma as the tree of work. That's Atma Vinashaya. This Atma word is context based actually. Atma can refer to body, Atma can refer to mind, Atma can refer to Atma, the soul itself. And Atma can refer to anything which is the source of that particular thing, the living thing that which is the source of that. So karma, the tree of work, there is a seed which grows into so many big branches, and especially the banyan tree. Here also the banyan tree is given in this particular 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this banyan tree grows so unlimitedly that when the branches also come and stand like a tree, you will not know whether it is branch or a tree, isn't it? The huge banyan trees you see, you don't know which is the main trunk which created all these different branches. Yes or no? Especially for the banyan tree, that problem is there. Other trees, actually, you can see, even though it's huge, it will not have so much of a complication like a banyan tree, right? So there is no point in trying to understand. That's why Prabhupada is saying here that it just you cannot try to find out the source. Where it starts and all. You can just overall you can see that it's a very complicated thing. That's all we can understand. And if you understand that, that's why Prabhupada says in this translation, Krishna says in this verse, one who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So if we know how the complication of this karmic actions and chain of karmic reactions and reactions, how complicated it is, then you're as good as knowing the Vedas. This is so powerful. This is because once you know the principle behind the whole thing, you don't have to get into the detail. Principles are more important than the individual details, right? Now let's read the verse number 2. That is in the same thing. Please scroll down, Prabhu. Please read the verse number 2 translation. Adashordam prasrutastasya shakha guna pravruddha vishaya pravala adascha mulani anasantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. Can somebody read the translation on the screen?
Yes, Prabhu. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society.
So the tree's root is going down and it's going up. The branches are going up, the stem and everything. Both it's extending upward and downward. That's what the banyan tree does, no? The branches go up also, branches go down also, and stand like very, very firm in its thing. So let's see this purport. Prabhupada is giving a beautiful description of this banyan tree. And this will explain why that Atma is tree of work.
The description of the banyan tree is further explained here. Its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities, human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. These are situated on the lower parts of the branches, whereas on the upper parts are higher forms of living entities, the demigods, Gandharvas, and many other higher species of life. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes the tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. The twigs of the tree
beautifully Prabhupada is comparing between, say, we have sometimes these cactus and other things growing in the desert, and we have plush green land where you have very beautifully grown plants and trees with they're taken care of nicely, and when the water is nice source of water is there and everything, you know. So according to the different phases, the different modes apply on these trees, and different trees are grown. Same way, different living entities have their different karmic branches growing in different ways according to the place where they are in. If they are in a pious family, their karma thing is different. If they are in a very demoniac family, their karma is different. They are in ignorance, then they are in different. So it's all in different ways. Let's read further now.
The twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses, and by the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, the ears, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendency towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. The real root is from Brahmaloka, and the other roots are in the human planetary system. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to this earth and renews his karma or fruitive activities for promotion. This planet of human beings is considered the field of activity.
See how complicated this is. If you have to look into this one paragraph, it will take a full day to understand each one of those things by meditating on this and completing it. So let's read the next two verses also, 3 and 4, the translations. Someone else wants to read the translation of 3 and 4. Narupamasyeha tatopalabhyate nato na chadir na cha sampratishta ashvattamena suvirudha moolam asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Ashvatamenam, this ashvatta tree, suvirudha moolam. Means it's so strongly, that root is so strongly into the ground, it is not possible to get out of it or cut it. Asanga Shastrena, which there is a weapon that is used. It's called Asanga. Asanga means what? The weapon of detachment. Virakti. So by the weapon of detachment only we can cut it off. Asanga Shastrena, Dridayana Chitva. But you have to be very, very determined to cut it, because you don't know how long it will take to cut each of those, the huge banyan tree. Only after doing this, you can get to Tata Padam Tat Parimargitayam. Then you can go to the lotus feet of Krishna. Yasmin Gata Na Nivartanti Puyata. After reaching whom you will not come back. Tameva Chatyam Purusham Prapadya. Always pray to go there, surrender to him, surrender to the Prapadya Purusham, Adyam Purusham, Adi Purusham. Go and to surrender to that Adi Purusham. Yata Pravritiki Prasruta Purani. From whom he is the original beginning of everything, and he is the oldest, and he is the one who is the cause of everything. So that is what he is telling here. And we read the translation now. Without reading the translation, just give a quick rough understanding of the meaning. Then let's read further the translation.
Okay, I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that supreme personality of Godhead from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial.
See, this is the thing. Everything has come from him and is extended since time immemorial. So let's read this purport. It's a very nice one.
It is now clearly stated that the real form of this banyan tree cannot be understood in this material world. Since the root is upwards, the extension of the real tree is at the other end. When entangled with the material expansions of the tree, one cannot see how far the tree extends, nor can one see the beginning of this tree. Yet, one has to find out the cause. I am the son of my father is the son of such and such a person, etc. By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work.
If you want to do research work, Prabhupada says this is so you have to keep on researching. It's not rocket science. If I know my father, my grandfather, he will know his father, he will know his father, but then they are not here with us. What can we do? So we have to keep researching, going up to the rishis, whatever, and then beyond that, go to Brahma. Then from there, it is Krishna only direct. Wherever you start, wherever you go, ultimately you have to reach there. Okay, let's continue.
One has to search out that origin of this tree, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the association of persons who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then by understanding, one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality. And by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real tree.
See, this is the point here. Now, up to this point, he has given a synopsis. Now, the next paragraph, he will tell how you do it.
The word asanga is very important in this connection because the attachment for sense enjoyment and lording it over the material nature is very strong. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from persons who are actually in knowledge.
So this is a very important thing that Prabhupada is giving. The detachment comes from constant thought discussions on transcendental topics, because unless and until you develop you understand the reality, because It is not that they keep telling you that this is just waste of time, don't do it, it's all not going to give you anything. They are not going to speak like that. They are going to show you that the people in knowledge, I mean the saints and sages who are in knowledge or advanced devotees, they have seen it, they have practically applied these knowledges and the conclusions of this knowledge, and they found out that at the end of the day, all that we are doing is for a big zero. When we are dying, we are not going to carry anything with us. On the last days, that's a beautiful verse in Mahabharata, Dhanani Bhumau, Pashavohi Goshte, Nari Grahadwari, Shakas Masane, Dehaschitayam, Paraloka Marge, Dharmanugo Gachati, Jiva Yekaha. I think this is spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaj, if I'm not wrong, or one of the, whoever speaks it, it's a very beautiful, powerful verse. Dhanani Bhumau, Pashavohi Goshte. When we are living, it's talking about the point of living, When we are living this world, Dhanani Bhumau, all the dhan we have kept in all different places, investments, accounts, everything, they will stay there only. And Bhumi, so much property, land, everything that we will have, they will also be there only. It's not going to come with us. And then Pashavahi Goshte, suppose if you are those days, Godhan, all the go is considered as the dhan, means cows. So cows, horses, whatever animals you will have, they will stay in their shed. Nowadays we don't have cows, horses and all. We have only cars or whatever, 2-wheelers or 4-wheelers or 8-wheelers or whatever. They will also be staying in the shed only. They are not going to send it along with you. There is one foolish person, I don't know if it was last year or some year, he loved his car so much that he wrote a will saying that when I die, please bury me along with my car. So they actually did it. Somebody came with the news, I don't know where it was. Somewhere I happened to see this news and I saw how foolish people can be. So they did dig a big pit at the size of the car. They put the car inside and the person inside the car, and they did a samadhi along with the car. This is to the extent people are attached to the ephemeral objects, perishable objects, you see. So these cars are going to stay there, even though it might have come with him to the graveyard, it will not go to him to the hell or wherever it is going. After some time, those who had seen this foolish thing, they would come, dig open, throw out the dead body and take the car and enjoy the car till their day. They will also die one day. Car will stay. car owner will go away. Right? So Pashavahi Goshte. The Nari Grahadwari, we are all attached to these things so much, and so Mahabharata or scriptures, they show the reality in front of our eyes. That's why many people are afraid of going to the scriptures. Some of them don't go because they are confused or they don't care. Some of them don't go because they're afraid that the reality will be thrown open to their eyes. It will be lied, it will be thrown bare naked in front of their eyes. So Dhanani Bhumau, Pashavahi Goshte, Nari Grahadwari. The dear wife or husband, whatever, they can only come up to the doorsteps wherever you want to. Shakas Masane, the friends who are carrying you, they will also come only till the Smashan. Dehas Chitayam, the dearest, these are all in categories of dearness more and more as it increases. Dhanani Bhumau, Pashavahi Goshte, and then Nari is even more dearer to these. And then some more people, friends are there, they will also wear, but they will come only up to the Sakash Masane. Even more dear to the friends and relatives is only our own body. That also will come only Dehas Chitayam, only till the funeral pyre, the Chita. It will only come up to that point. Paraloka Marge, when you are going to the Yamloka, Paraloka, Dharma Anugo Gachati. Only one thing that will come with us, with Atma. What is that? Dharma. Whatever good deeds that we are doing, good deeds are the highest deeds, devotional service that you are doing, that's only will come with you. Other thing, whatever is coming, will take you towards a different place. Dharma anugo gachati jiva ekaha. alone the jiva has to go. This is the same thing that Akrura also tells to Dhritarashtra. Krishna sends Akrura to Dhritarashtra in Hastinapura when before the Vanavas and all that, because they are constantly planning to kill the Pandavas. No? So Krishna knows that, and he sends Akrura as a messenger to Dhritarashtra that you please stop this nonsense. We are watching. So Akrura also says the same thing to beautiful state verse to Dhritarashtra in 10th canto, I think 38th chapter or something it is. Eka prasuyate jantuhu, eka eva praliyate. Alone the jiva has come, the jiva has come alone to this world. And then eka eva praliyate, alone it is going back. Eko anubhukte sukritam, eka eva duskritam. Alone it has to enjoy the good karmas. Alone it has to suffer the bad karmas. If I get headache, how much ever desire my family or whoever it may be, can I tell them to take 50% of my headache and reduce my headache and take 50%? Is there a way to do it? Or if I have leg pain, can I just say that so long I am serving you, can you take some of my leg pain, give me some relief? It's not possible. Even if they are willing to, they cannot do it. Yes, right? So yeah, this is all the scriptures lay bare naked the reality. While we are talking about all these things in a jovial way, in whatever, but at the end of the day, Mahavishnu Maharaj will always give only one reason, one solution to our inattentive chanting, lack of taste in scriptures, lack of taste in devotional service. For all these things, he will tell only one root cause problem. What is that? We are thinking we are going to live in this world forever and the same state. Old age is going to give us problems. Senses are all going down. Our mind will be active, but it can't get help of the senses. What an amazing thing Krishna has created. So Sukhalayam Shashvatam. Your mind will be active. It wants to eat something, but then diabetes will not allow you to eat, or some other disease will not allow us to eat. Or if I have to read something, I'm not able to read because eyes are losing its power. I want to hear, but hearing capacity is going away. I want to speak, not able to speak much. It's mixing everything. So all these things are happening to give us this asanga. That's the whole idea. So we have to really, asanga means detachment, to develop a natural detachment. When we develop the natural detachment to things, then when it is being taken away from us, the pain is less. Yes or no?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Because
So
we
that
have
is
already given up.
Yeah, you are already given up. So if it stays also, you don't care. If it goes also, you don't care much. And how to develop that detachment? One side, you increase the knowledge, you develop the knowledge of the impermanency of this material world, of things, whatever we are possessing, all these things, including our own body. And another thing is develop Sangha of the devotees who have this knowledge and who are having a taste for serving Krishna and in all different ways. So that Sangha, continuous Sangha with the Bhaktas, with the devotees, will naturally develop this detachment. You don't have to struggle too much. Automatically it comes. You don't have to get beating to feel the pain and get relieved. It will automatically come. So let's read this. We didn't complete this, no? The second paragraph. Only 2 lines we read, I guess.
As a result of such discussion in the association of devotees, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the first thing one must do is surrender to Him. The description of that place, whence having gone, one never returns to this false reflected tree, is given here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original root from whom everything has emanated. To gain the favor of that personality of Godhead, one has only to surrender. and this is a result of performing devotional service by hearing, chanting, etc.
Hmm.
He is the cause of the extension of the material world.
Hmm.
This has already been explained by the Lord himself. Aham sarvasya prabhavam.
Prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti mata vajate ma Buddha bhava samanitam. That's the verse. I am the origin of everything. Hmm.
Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of this strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension.
Beautiful. So the next verse talks about how one should develop that detachment, how one should surrender to Krishna. With this, the 5 shlokas sequence is over. He starts off with the tree. He explains the definition, the characteristics of the tree, what all it represents and everything. And he tells how it is originated and how to cut this off by developing detachment, how to develop detachment by association of devotees and surrendering to Krishna. And then how to surrender to Krishna is this verse, Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha. For this, you please read the translation along.
If anyone else wants to read
Yeah.
Prabhu's method.
Anybody wants to read this translation?
And I think Shiva Prabhu has a question.
Yeah, let him read. Shiva Prabhu, you read this translation and then you can ask.
Prabhuji, I'm on mobile, Prabhuji.
Oh, you're not able to read. Okay, I will read.
I can read, Prabhuji. I'll
Yes,
read.
Mataji. Yeah.
Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Very tough.
Prabhupada says
Everything
surrendering process described here very nicely.
Kama.
Yeah. So this nirmana moha means first thing is pride. Give up the false prestige that I am so and so. This can pride. We can cling on to pride anywhere and everywhere. Pride, small thing also we will become proud. You don't realize there's so many more people who are the nirvana moha. We are fully in illusion. That's why we are completely in pride. Jita sangha dosha. Give up the false association. And then adhyatma nitya. Then you will understand the eternal. Then you will vini vritta kamaha. Then you will give up the material lust. Then when you give up the material lust, naturally you'll be freed from the dualities of happiness and distress. And then Dvandva vimuktas, then they are like unbewildered. They are not bewildered. And that is amudaha. When they do all these things, then automatically they will surrender to Krishna. Krishna will supply them how to surrender. That's why Prabhupada is saying here the purport. This is a beautiful purport actually this is. While I said that we would only read the translation, now I am more inclined to read this purport. As Prabhupada is giving all these nice things, the different points which he said. False prestige we cling on to anywhere and everywhere, not only in our material possessions. Anything that which we think we have achieved. I have done so many things, whatever. That is also false pride only, even in spiritual activities. So can somebody read the purport, this purport, and then we will go back to Bhagavatam. This is more or less explaining what is this tree of work about. What is the tree of work that Narada is referring there, So who wants to read this now? The purport.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Please.
The surrendering process is described here very nicely. The first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride, because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the lord of the material nature. It is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not Lord of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. For one who is always expecting some honor in this material world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person.
Beautiful statement. Huh? That's a beautiful statement. That is why while chanting, we say this Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarurapi Sakshuna, Amanina Manadena. Right? We always, we are all manis, means we want honor. But the only way you can surrender to Krishna or chant lovingly is when you become amanis. When we become amani, means I don't want any respect. Whatever I am doing it to service. So I don't want to declare, hey, so many people hear this now. I am giving this much donation to this temple. I have done all these services for so many years. And then I need the garland. I want this, I want that. All these are looking for honor. You know? It can come from a typically very, very gross level, gross way it can exhibit itself, and it will come all the way down to the subtle level, where we will be so smart in not expressing it openly, but internally we'll be expecting that honor. There's even looking for some loyalty. Like suppose you are helping somebody coming to Krishna consciousness, helping them, training them, whatever, and they keep coming because of your, every time they will keep saying, Prabhuji, because of your mercy, Mataji, because of your mercy, I did this, I did that. Then you will feel, okay, good, this is nice. I'm feeling my ego is satisfied, my false ego is being taken care of nicely. This is nurtured nicely. And then after some time, you'll see that, you know, somehow they are not telling, sometimes people may not say that. Probably I did this there, I did this there. And then there will be, by your mercy, there will not be there. Where is that? It is missing. So this is how our expectation for honor keeps growing, you know. And this again, this loyalty is a killing thing, you know. It just kills our devotional service in the birth itself. Loyalty means expecting others to be loyal to us. Why do we help somebody and expect some loyalty? That you should be with me, you should be with that, you should be not go here, go there. This is controlling, complete controlling propensity. If at all they have to do something to you, Krishna will arrange according to our mood. When he does not, when the mood is not good, Krishna will not allow for that living entity to be grateful to us. Even if you hang upside down, it will not happen. So it's a very, very clean equation. You don't expect anything, Krishna will allow people to come to you. If you expect something, Krishna will drive people away from you. This is asanga, attachment. But unfortunately, this beautiful line, this is for one who is always expecting some honor in this material world. It is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person. If I cannot surrender to the Supreme Person, how can I ask others to surrender? How can I take classes on others to surrender? My surrender is just accepting whatever Krishna allows. Because what happens, we are so much used to this material world that in the material world, we expect that one day you do this, the next day automatically it should be in the same thing. There should not be any unexpected or unforeseen thing that can come in the way. Like if suppose you are going by train to one place, it reaches on time. The next day we are expecting the same. Next time when we go, we think that, oh, the train went on time, or the flight went on time this time also it will be the same. We by default we expect that it will continue in the same way, but unfortunately, you see, like our body also doesn't go through the same way. Maybe all these different phases, like boyhood, youthhood, manhood, old age, and all these things will be. It just goes and gets gets into this decay mode, right? Same way, everything has a decay mode. Relationship also goes into decay mode. If you start having expectations constantly, because people can't keep on their life. They have their own life. They can't keep supplying or supplying, nurturing our pride and expectation all the time. And even if somebody does it, it is only because of some matlabi thing. I mean to say, they have something to gain from us, or they're worried that this person will. I have to hear all this person's all this lecture. I have to hear big lecture. I have to hear from him or her. So best thing is to give some space for the living entities to grow, and then Krishna will arrange for them to learn in their own experience. So this expecting some honor, this beautiful line, this is Prabhupada is giving us. This is stopping us from surrender, stopping us from getting detached. Okay, please continue, Prabhu. Sorry, Mataji, you are reading. Tamil Mataji reading. Yes.
Pride is due to illusion. For although one comes here, stays for a brief time and then goes away, he has the foolish notion that he is the lord of the world. He thus makes all things complicated, and he's always in trouble.
This line, Prabhupada, I think literally is writing with so much feeling. He thus makes all things complicated and is always in trouble. Imagine how this is actually, this is so practical. When we are proud, we make everything complicated. You have to listen to me. I am the master of this place. You can't do anything without my knowledge. Man, we are complicating the whole thing, because the moment you say this to that person, what happens? For that person gets into a nervous situation. Oh my God, if I tell you anything without his knowledge, I am finished. Everything I have to tell him. So how do I do? What all things to tell? What all things to not tell? We are confusing that living entity, complicating the life for that living entity. And when I am supposed to tell him he is not there, what should I do? I should wait for my work till his permission is there. So this much complication in a very little thing that I am telling. And the other person who is controller, that so-called controller, for him, you see what is the complication. After he tells this to this so and so person, he has to keep a constant watch on this person. He will keep a constant watch in the sense, in his mind, he will always be thinking, is he telling me, or is he doing without my knowledge? Why is he not listening to me and surrendering to me? Does he not remember all that I did to him? Like this, there are so many complications we develop within ourselves, that for one living entity, we have to do so much of this supervision, CCTV, everything we have to keep. Our mind is CCTV. Like this, every single person who we want to control, we need to have so many CCTVs. And imagine somebody is asked to sit in front of a CCTV in a building with 16 cameras, and like that, he has 100 such TVs. Will he not go mad looking at the individual small screen? And what will he get out of it also, even if he looks into the small little CCTV cameras that's going on? Do you think he'll be able to control? And one fine day, Kal achanak mari hai. Just tam apramata sahasa vipatya. One fine day, suddenly, like the snake swallowing the frog, Krishna will, in the form of time, will come and eat away. Why we are complicating? And we are always in trouble. We don't get good sleep at all. When we know that Krishna is in full control, we can sleep very nicely. The Brajvasis, they could sleep so beautifully, so wonderfully, without any sleeping pills or any of those other artificial things. Could do it. They could do it. Very sound sleep they were, because they know Krishna is the ultimate protector. I don't have to worry about anything. He's ultimate controller. He controls everything. So this is a beautiful line, Prabhupada. Every line of this purport is amazing. So let's go further. Sorry, to go further. Sorry, Shiva Prabhu was raising his hand for a while. Prabhu, you, and also I think our Vamshi Prabhu, Varun Prabhu also was asking, would ask something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I got
Yes,
Prabhu. Pressed. I mean, I didn't. I'm listening, Prabhu. I'll come back to on this.
Okay, sure. No problem. Shiva Prabhu, you are going to say something?
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. On 24th December, you made one statement for rephrasing, which was, when I'm not there, and if the object get destroyed, then I own it. And some 15 minutes back, you made references regarding when we leave, we are not going to own our car, two-wheeler, horse, and any of the lands. So I'm just thinking that these are the good examples which are coming up now for what you.
Thank you. Thank you for remembering that. I think we made that statement and we asked devotees to think through and get back, right? We couldn't follow up on that. You are the best person to follow up, Prabhu. Frankly, we are so glad that you are with us, because somebody to keep track of the older classes and bringing up the little assignments or takeaways which we talked about. So nice of you. Yeah, we will have to connect these two things. Thank you, Prabhu. We have to put that statement, I think, again in the group to ensure we are looking into that and then meditating on that statement and see how true that statement is. I don't know, it just came from nowhere. So
you made the today's conversation around 30th minute. So once you post into the group, I'll hear both of the conversation and I'll put it into the group.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. So nice of you. Just like Krishna is giving all these thoughts, he's giving devotees like you also to, make it more systematic and disciplined. Thank you for that. Was it Kamalini Mataji reading? Please continue with it. Yeah.
The whole world moves under this impression. People are considering the land, the earth, to belong to human society, and they have divided the land under the false impression that they are the proprietors. One has to get out of this false notion that human society is the proprietor of the world. When one is free from,
Mataji, your voice is not so very audible. Am I the
so
only one?
I am traveling, but still I wanted to let somebody call Prabhu. There is a lot of
No worries. Maybe someone else can read. Gaurav Prabhu or someone you want to read? Anyone else? So that the voice.
Prabhu, where are we exactly?
We are in that one has to get rid of the false mind. One is freed from such a false notion.
When one is freed from such a false notion, he becomes free from all the false association caused by familial, social, and national affections. These faulty associations bind one to this material world. After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. One has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually actually his own, and what is actually not his own. And when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all dual conception, such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. He becomes full in knowledge. Then it is possible for him to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Amazing purport, no? So this is how, when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all such dual conceptions. That is what Dvandva Vimukta, Sukha Dukkha Samyaya. They are actually, Samyaya means named. Very interesting. Happiness and distress are named. They are not actually happiness and distress. Something is named as happiness. For example, eating a sweet may be named as a happiness for a normal person. But it is the same thing as distress for a jaundiced person. Yes or no?
Correct, Prabhu. But
So
I
it
didn't
is
understand
named.
what is named.
Named means they are just giving a name that this means it will be happy for you. this means it will be sad for you.
Uh-huh.
Somebody will say rain is sad for some people, but the same rain is gives happiness to some other people. So they are not actually. It is just named. It's for namesake only. It is like that. Beautifully, it is Samjaya means it is called as happiness, but actually it is not happiness. This is called as distress, but it is actually not distress. That's why you should read word. Now we read the purport translation. Just look at one word and you see that everything is this happiness and distress are named. See, but he never said for other things. He didn't say named. Only for sukha and dukkha he said samjaya.
Okay.
Chidasanka dosha no, nirvana moha no, adhyatma nitya no, vinirta karma no. For these and are not named. Only for sukha dukkha samjaya. You see how specific is Krishna. So when you understand that all these things are simply named, not actually it is giving happiness. Not that actually it gives distress. If you see the same thing, Parikshit Maharaj, if he is to be cursed, for outsiders it may look like a depressing thing. Oh my God, his king is suddenly dying. But for himself, it is a joyful thing. Bhishmadev is lying in the bed of arrows. And it's a depressing thing, distressing thing for everyone else. But for him, it is a source of happiness because he could see Krishna in front of him. He's not seeing that as a pain. So you only name it. But whether it is actually that or not, you don't know. That is not dependent on how you name it. How you want to experience it, that's how it is understood. And the same thing which you consider a happiness will be, the same thing will become depressing one thing for you later.
Yeah. So if we are happy, somebody else will not be happy. Or our happiness.
That is one proof. That is one side of it, Mataji. Something which is happiness, giving happiness to you will give unhappiness to someone else. Something that gives pleasure to you will give pain to someone else. That's one side, one way of looking. One point. The next point is the same thing which gives you happiness will give unhappiness very soon. The same thing.
Correct.
You will have the latest model of iPhone with you. In 2 months, iPhone, the Apple company has a way of keeping you depressed by releasing another model.
Yeah, like Chitraketu Maharaj past him, happiness. The sun will give you happiness.
And beautiful example. Beautiful example.
Jubilation. Okay,
right?
Now I understood.
So in this world, everything is transient. Something being happiness is also transient because very soon it will give you pain. Something which is pain also will be transient because very soon it will give you pleasure.
So Prabhu, I have a question here. Can I ask?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, please.
So happiness and distress is all about our perception, right, Prabhu?
Correct. That's why it is called named.
You said iPhone, somebody iPhone may be happy and not happy and things like that. So the degree of happiness for a person, the degree of distress of a person depends on what, Prabhu?
To the degree you are attached to that degree, the happiness and depression will be there. To the degree you are owning it, to that degree the pain and this thing will be there. Okay. The more you come out of it, the more, that's why this asanga is there. Asanga, the moment you come out of it, you say that this is not mine, then your pleasure will be manifold. The moment you say this is mine, then you get a package. Pleasure.
So you mean to say if you own that particular thing, saying that you're attached to that particular thing, based on that, your degree of happiness or distress will depend on that.
Yes. So whatever you own owns you. You become its slave. Like Prabhupada said, once a man was. So once in the morning walk, when Prabhupada was going in the beach, one man was taking his dog for a walk. The dog was going in the front and he was holding its the reins. And he was thinking, Prabhupada said, he is thinking that he is the owner of the dog. But you see, who is dragging whom? The dog is dragging the man. He's just going behind wherever the dog is going. And then he has to collect the dog poop whenever it poops. My God. So that's how this world is really. So this everything is named. Actually, in Bhagavatam, there is 2 places where this is so beautifully explained about this being. Everything is just named. Yeah, 1:5:14, which we read earlier. If you take that verse, ततोऽन्यथा किञ्चन यद्विवक्षतः पृथग्दृशस्तत्कृतरूपनामभिः न कर्हिचित् क्वापि च दुःस्थितामतेर्लभेत वाताहतनौरिवास्पदम्. See, पृथग्दृशस्तत्कृतरूपनामभिः. This is the line which tells about it's called certain things, this, etc. Land, water, then earth, sky, then good, bad, hot, cold, all these ways. These are all there. But the moment you see them as Prithak Drisha, as separate from Krishna, they start giving you trouble in different name, form, activities, etc. If you see that as part and parcel of Krishna, or part of Krishna, then that same thing will not give you pain, that will give you pleasure. But our biggest challenge is, this is our biggest challenge, that Prithak Drisha. You see, read the translation. Tato Anyata. You are trying to describe something separate from Krishna. Kinchanayat Vivakshataha. You are Narada is telling to Vyasadeva. It simply reacts. Tat Krita. It reacts. How? To the degree you are engaging it away from Krishna, or independent of Krishna, to that degree it reacts to give you more and more pleasure, pain. So that's why he's saying simply reacts to different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind. It agitates your mind. Say, for example, suppose somebody is assisting me in some seva. I'm doing some service to Krishna or Guru, and somebody is assisting. They are assisting me in the seva. Now I start thinking that this person belongs to me, and whatever I tell, he has to do or she has to do. Now this is how we are cutting off their relationship in our mind with Krishna. They have a direct relationship with Krishna. We are only some via media, but what we are doing, we are cutting off that direct relationship and say you have to go through me. You understand? So that is called the Prithak Drisha, right? We are trying to engage them in service, but because we have this consciousness that I am the controller, I am the owner, and I am the everything for them. In my consciousness, we are cutting off the relationship with Krishna. Actual relationship with Krishna for that person is not cut off. Please understand this. In my mind, I have created an imaginary the link which goes through me to Guru or Krishna. Actually, Guru does not need us, frankly speaking, or Krishna does not need us. But we create this Prithak Drisha. So when we do this Prithak Drisha, what happens? When that person does something else, or they do something on their own, instead of nourishing them or instead of encouraging them, we tell them that, no, you should not do like this. Why did you not ask me before doing this? Like these and all people who are having this controlling propensity, so those who are really wanting to control, they cut off Krishna away from this whole deal transaction. And that is why what happens when we do this thing, too much control, too much ownership, lording it over, and etc. Whatever this person does or does not do creates a disturbance in our mind. It reacts, it agitates the mind. For example, suppose I tell somebody to bring flower. They are not bringing the flower, or they are not coming. They are not calling me also. Then I will start creating so many agitating concoctions in my mind. Why did he not come? He's not respecting me. She's not respecting me. I did this. He forgot. No, he forgot. No gratitude. All these things will go on in your mind. Whereas the simple thing would have been that they might have been sick, and because of whatever reason they could not call you, or they are lying down sick. You don't know. That might be the reason, or somebody in the home is sick that they are busy taking care of them. You understand? So during this period, so many concoctions goes on in my mind, and that is what reacts in different names and forms. This person is actually a Dasa Dasanudasa or Krishna's direct servant. And what I do, no, this person is my Dasa. So I create a different relationship wherein that name reacts to. The different names and results and forms it reacts. It comes in different forms. That same person, he will be very nice with me, very happy with me. Prabhu Panchakalpas. That is one form. The next day they will come because I shouted at them or I scolded them or preached whatever I did. They will react in another form. They will come and they will frown at you or will stare at you. Who the hell are you to tell me all these things? So that is a different form. Or another form is like, man, my God, this is a terror. Just forget about him. I will not even call you. I will not even go in front of this person. I will go somewhere else. That is third form. So our actions, which is cut off from Krishna, creates different reactions, different name, different results, different forms. For same person only, they show different forms. Like Krishna is showing Narsingh Avatar, Ram Avatar, etc. Like that, the same person will react in different forms. All this agitates our mind. Where is the question of surrendering our mind to Krishna, or where is the question of even meditating on Krishna? And this is
Prabhuji,
such a beautiful. Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Sorry. Prabhuji, one thing you used to tell us, Prabhuji, about Guru Maharaj, if somebody is not giving Lakshmi also, he will say that's between them and Krishna. You just keep quiet. So, you know, that time it was very simple, but now there's so much of meaning in that, right? Because we cut off that expectation from us for anything if we are training somebody or guiding somebody. The base lesson he gave is even if Lakshmi they are not giving, it's between them and Krishna. Why are you bothered? So this is the thing, right? To remember that we should not be the in between Krishna.
Lakshmi
We
is
should
one
not
of
be in
the
between.
items. We should not be in between, and we should sincerely pray to Krishna. As Maharaj said this point always, that your temple, you have to build it. I will not beg for you. So, but actually he was internally begging so intensely to Krishna that please somehow engage living entities in your service. I am trying my best. But the thing is, one thing that he said, that in my mind I should not be going and expecting every single person. Like last time also we discussed that, no? Re recha taka savadana manasa mitrakshanam suyata. Like don't look at every single cloud and think that it is going to pour water to you. So the Chataka bird, we discussed that verse. I don't know which session it was, but I think it was in Prabhupada's Maranam, if I'm not wrong. Correct? Right, Kamalni Mataji? That you are also discussing.
Yes, sir. It's
So whenever we are really looking for something in our life, really in need, we should pray to Krishna. We should not look at, oh, this living entity will come, this living entity will give. That will not help. Whatever it may be, service in whichever form it is, sincerely we should pray to Krishna. And he will give. And if he doesn't give also, it is for our good only. We should be completely peaceful and satisfied, and automatically services will come. And when we see that Krishna is giving the service, not because of my capability or my talent, but because he sees that somehow he wants to engage me, this fallen soul, in service, then we will do it sincerely. If I start thinking that, hey, I am a good Prajaka, I am a good Kirtaniya, that is why people are calling me, then again Pritak Drisha. There are different names, forms, results, they will come and disturb us. Everything is coming because Krishna is wanting to engage us somehow. Guru wants to engage us somehow. So this is one verse.
But this Narada Muni is saying this to Vyasadeva, right?
Correct.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
But here for Vyasadeva, why are you saying that? I'm just trying to get the background little. I understood the point that you made.
Because he has written everything in which Krishna is hidden. He hasn't written anything exclusively glorifying Krishna and devotional service. So he is telling the cause of your despondency or disturbance is because you had your own plan, thinking that if I tell directly about this devotional selves and Krishna, people will not take. So I will tell step by step, etc., etc. So he didn't give a exclusive thing for devotional service, which is the most important need of the hour for all yugas and all types of people.
Okay.
He did some gradual step-by-step thing, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all those things he gave so much importance, but he didn't give the importance to bhakti, which is not different from Krishna. So that is why he's telling you to explain all these different things, different Puranas, different Vedas, Vedantas and everything. Now that is all come in different forms to react and giving you this disturbance.
Okay.
You have not given something where the boat has to have a resting place. This resting place means aspadam, means Krishna's lotus feet is our resting place. The boat which is not anchored properly on the ground, it will be even the slightest breeze comes also, it will start shaking, isn't it? It doesn't need a huge thunderstorm to shake it. The slightest breeze will shake it. So slightest wind will shake it. I mean, it will just start moving, right? To that extent, the mind is very chanchal. Slightest thing will agitate us. Why? Because it is not anchored at the lotus feet of Krishna. Just like the boat is not anchored on the ground, mind is not anchored at the lotus feet of Krishna. So you are supposed to explain this devotional service directly so that people's mind will be anchored at Krishna's lotus feet so that they will be satisfied and peaceful. But you have explained all these different dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everything. But for devotional service, you have written an exclusive shastra. Exclusively, you have not given importance for that. That is why you are despondent. That's why he's diagnosing the reason for his despondence.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Right. So the other place where this names is there. 223. It's a beautiful verse. Atah kavir namasu yavadartah syada pramato vyavasaya buddhi siddhenyatarthe nayate tatra parishramam tatra samikshamanah. 223, Prabhu. You can change it. Just change that number to instead of 1. No, I think you have gone to 1.2. Go to 2.2. Put 2/2. In the advanced views. Or you put 2/2 in that problem. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Got it. Can you read this verse? Move it a little bit to the left, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure.
For this reason.
For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life, while in the world of names.
See here again, world of names. Kavir namasu. Yavadartha. This world is only names, only nothing else. Now suppose you have a piece of wood, it is called wood. You change it into, you put it in as in the form of a table, then it calls table. And after some time it will be broken, it is called broken table. Then you take all the legs out and the thing out, then the leg is called some piece of wood and the flat is called, you can call something else. Then you put it in the fire and make it becomes ash. So that same wood has so many different names according to the name person. This body also, now you may call this body as, okay, so and so person, man, or this and that, whatever. And once it is dead, let's say it's a dead body. Nobody will call me by the name. Nobody will know the time. Bring that one. Bring that one dead body. Right? Whatever names you are telling, his grace, her grace, disgrace, everything becomes disgrace, That's all. This world is just simply names. That's all we should understand. Unless we come to this point, asanga will not happen. Detachment will not happen. That asanga shastra will come only when we understand futility of our all the this material world, frequency of this material endeavors. Okay, please continue, Prabhu. He should be intelligently fixed.
He should be intelligently fixed and never endeavor for unwanted things.
Yeah, unwanted things basically. Basically, unwanted things he should not be looking after. Yavadartha, minimum things only we should be endeavoring for this world. Yes.
Being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing.
This is the same thing Prabhupada said in the purport, if you remember, who sees things as they are. In that 15th chapter, few purports we read now. In the 5th verse, he says 4 and 5, or whatever, that one has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually his own and actually not his own. And when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all dual conceptions such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. I'm just reading from the purport of 15.5. You see, they see as things as they are. Samirshamanaha. One who thinks practically. It's very important to know how to understand this thing practically, Practically means whether what is of use to me. This body is of use to me only in certain ways. Otherwise, it is all not of use. So if it is not used in Krishna's service, it is actually not of any use. So these are the two verses I just remember. There are many more, but at least these two you should remember to understand or are having this real understanding that this world is just a world of names. That's all.
Prabhupada has written nicely there. No? The whole material creation is a jugglery of names.
Jugglery of names. You would say jugglery of names. Beautifully, Prabhupada will say that. Jugglery is just a jugglery,
Jugglery of names.
As I told you, now we are using this laptop. We call it a laptop. We say palm top, laptop, phone, hand phone, smartphone, different things. But it is just a combination of material energy, that's all. And then it will go back into material energy. In front of us, it is there 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, it's worth. It's just broken. The same thing, once it is broken, you go and give it to the shop wala. What you will take it for? Or even if it is not broken, a few years later, how much it will go for? Right? So it's all just world of names. That's a beautiful thing, That's why it's just a jugglery of names, nothing else. Nice. So we didn't get into the actually the 1.534 mainly because we were just focusing on this one word tree of work, Atma. Now you understand where and all we had to come back to understand this. Stayeva Atma Vinashaya. 1.534. Right? So this tree of work, there's many more things there to remember, but then it's very important to know why Prabhupada is using these words. Now, when he referred to as Atma Vinashaya, he is immediately referring to the 15th chapter verses. Now, if we haven't read the translation yet, right?
No, Prabhu.
Please, can you read that quickly? You don't want to go without that.
Yeah, I'll read.
Please.
Yeah. Fruitive work which has perpetually engaged.
Translation.
Oh, translation, sorry. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work.
So here we are talking about a tree. Here we are talking about the different tree, and then the tree of work, fruity works. The whole idea here is about how to reshape that fruity work in such a way that it is cutting that very same tree. That is the whole idea. So Prabhupada has created, has really understood this Atma Vinashaya. Normally, if I say Atma Vinashaya, killing of the soul. Yeah. But here, because Prabhupada knows the context, Prabhupada is really blessed by Krishna and Guru to understand the context here. He sees that Atma as the tree of work.
Yeah, and completely different direction it has gone.
Yes. Normal way it will not be, right? Yeah. So, destroyed of the tree of work. Now, please read the first 2 lines of the purport only. I don't want to read the full purport. We'll do it in the next session, Krishna will, because it's also late now. You just do first few lines and you will know why we connected to 15th chapter.
Fruitative work which has perpetually engaged the living being is compared to the banyan tree in the Bhagavad Gita. For it is certainly very deeply rooted. As
See,
long
this is
as
the same thing, banyan tree, Ashwatthamenam Suviruda Moolam, deeply rooted. Suviruda Moolam. It's rooted deeply.
As long as the propensity for enjoying the fruit of work is there, one has to continue the transmigration of the soul from one body or place to another, according to one's nature of work. And stop your.
No, you read the few lines also.
Okay. The propensity for enjoyment may be turned into the desire for serving the mission of the Lord. By doing so, one's activity is changed into karma yoga, or the way by which one can attain spiritual perfection while engaging in the work for which he has a natural tendency. Here, the word Atma indicates the categories of all fruitative work.
See, now Prabhupada is now explaining why it's explained. The word Atma indicates the categories of all fruitative work. That's why he's saying tree of work. Now, see, one line before that is so beautiful. He's giving a beautiful definition for karma yoga, just like as a passing statement. Way by which one can attain spiritual perfection while engaging in the work for which he has a natural tendency. So Prabhupada says this, and all of us say, whatever natural tendency you have for work, just continue with that. Yes, Swadharmena Mam Nityam. Whatever naturally comes to you, just do it. Right? Here, I was just recently there at Krishnavani Mataji's home in Bombay, in Mumbai, near Juhu Temple. Her son, Sunrise is so much dedicated to DT service. I have not seen someone in that age. He's hardly 16, 17 years old. And he is so much dedicated to this DT service that he'll be very focused on the service. Do some different mantras and whatever thing and put on the angastra, everything and do properly. And always the concern is there that he will study or not. What is it? He's not studying. What will he get good marks to join the top college? To their surprise, he got such good marks and he got entry into the college, which is hardly 5 minutes away from their home. 5 or 10 minutes away from their home. I don't know how am I telling the right thing, but it's very close and very good college actually. So that is saying naturally is doing this. So his studies, he quickly gets it done. He's not spending too much time to learn it or whatever. So the focus naturally comes because he's naturally engaged in the service. The natural tendency is very important while engaging in the work for which one has a natural tendency. If I go against my natural tendency, that's when the problem happens. Like somebody is physically very active, let them do physical work. Prabhupada, that's why he didn't ask this Sethi to by heart shlokas and other things. He told, well, your Kshatriya spirit, come and help Krishna in the Kshatriya way. And some other devotees, the editors who are doing the BPT work, he did ask them to come and support in the Bombay temple issues. He told them, your job is to continue this, keep doing the editing, printing work. That's your job. So whatever comes naturally, we should just do. That's the whole idea. Let's complete this purport. In the word category of all fruitive work, the conclusion Prabhupada is giving here, please.
Yeah. The conclusion is that when the result of all fruitative and other work is dovetailed with the service of the Lord, it will cease to generate further karma. It will cease to generate further karma.
Cease and stop. It will not create any more karma.
Further karma and will gradually develop into transcendental devotional service, which will not only cut off completely the root of the banyan tree of work, but will also carry the performer to the lotus feet of the Lord.
Beautiful, no? See how it carries you all the way to the lotus. That's what this 5-6 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita is very important. And in this first paragraph, Prabhupada has more or less merged this verse and the 5 verses of Bhagavad Gita into one verse. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. Yasmin katana nivartanti bhoy puyaka. That parimargitavyam, tata padam, you will go and attain that place from where you will not come back at all. By the same process which you continue. See, two things it does. One is, first thing is it stops creating more reactive things. Correct? By doing these activities as a service to Krishna, it first of all stops creating further reactions. More and more branches will stop creating. Okay. That's the first thing. Second thing, what it does is it purifies our activity so that we will, by that activity only, we can go back to Krishna. These two things it does. So Asanga Shastra also happens. This devotional service also happens in one go. There's no other process that can do both. The second paragraph you will read next session, Krishna will link, because this verse is very important. See how beautifully Prabhupada has converged the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam into one particular area. It merges, it comes to a common point here, both of them. So we'll stop here, Prabhu Mataji. I'm sorry we got a little bit extended today, but thank you for staying on and listening. Any final questions, comments before we close for the day?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was nectar.
Thank you. All of you are so service.
All days are extended only, Prabhuji.
It's all because of such sincere, attentive. When the attentive group is there, then this thing even more sweet, And like you are all bringing such nice points like Shiva Prabhu, Sharda Mataji, Kamalni Mataji, and all of you asking questions. I'm so happy to be in your association. Alone, I would not have gotten to read all those things myself. So tomorrow the session will not be there, Krishna will link, because we are kind of the move, and we'll see how things go. Next week we should be probably 1 or 2 days. We'll probably have our Prabhupada Smarana will not try to stop. We'll try to continue as much as we can. So Krishna willing, we will do that, and then which are also, if not both days, at least one day we will try to do. We'll see how Krishna plans our days ahead, because I'll be a little bit on the move. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. It was really a wonderful association on a Friday evening. Krishna willing, we'll see you on soon. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Vishnu Goswami Maharaj.